Terry, I'm sorry. I think I had your audio out. We're just going to start again. I muted you instead of me. So yeah, just give it one more shot, and we'll double check and make sure it's coming through. Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. Welcome. You should see on the screen in front of you, we've got a spreadsheet. So as Terry's opening the ballots on camera, you'll see there's a little thumbnail of her camera as well, and that is an empty ballot in front of us right now. And what she's going to do is we sent out the ballots to a total of 111 went out. I think somewhere around 70 or so came back. We will find out once we get them all opened, and we're going to go through the spreadsheet and put everybody's first choice, second choice. I'll just run a little example here so we can see. So you can see we got first choice, second choice, third choice as I'm going through these here, and we'll see in real time up top. We've got the total votes in this column here, and I'm getting record now that according to David, Facebook is not live, so let me double check that here real quick. Can't hear. Okay. 1 second. Let's get that taken care of. Sorry to all the YouTube people as we work through this and get Facebook updated. Oh, I think it was working, and it just was late. Yeah, I think it was working. Okay, yeah, it was working the whole time, of course. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, we're going to go through everybody's ballot, open them in real time. The first thing that you will see on the ballot is the envelope number, and you can see in this column here, down the left, we have all of the numbers. We're going to open those in ascending order, so starting with the lowest and going up to the highest. And then we're going to put everyone's first choice, second choice, third choice up to how many ever they had here. And then in real time, you'll see the votes update in this column. And then the delegates received. Indiana has 4 total delegates. So the math it does is the best it can to divide up those 4 total delegates based off of the number of votes that have come in. And you'll see as the votes are tallied, over here on the left, there's this threshold per half delegate. The Green Party has half delegates allowed for voting. So it's a little different than what you see for like the Democrat and Republican parties. So Indiana has voted this year to allow for half delegates to be counted. Sorry, I was reading something there. But what we're doing is a half delegate is only going to count after you receive one full delegate. So as we put the votes in, you'll see all these numbers. So let me just go ahead here, and we're going to have Kent. I'm just going to do some example votes. So we'll say that Kent comes in, and you'll see right away as I put Kent's name in here, he's got one vote. And since he's the only one in there now, he's got all the delegates, 100% of them. And you can see the voting thresholds here that you need for a certain amount of delegates gets updated in real time. So if I just go through and put in a few different random names down here, we'll see all of these numbers. You can see the votes get tallied in real time. The threshold per half delegates gets updated, and the amount of votes that you need for each delegate gets updated. And then we can see the delegates that are received here. So we're not really going to know anything until all the votes have been entered. And then after the first round, you can see here we have at the bottom uncommitted. So the math has worked out to where not everybody is receiving a delegate at this point. So we see that we have 3 people with tied for first right now. So they all get 1 delegate, and there's still 1 delegate left. So what we would do then is go through and go to the second choice and eliminate based off of who's in last place. So all the zeros, all the ones will be eliminated, and whoever is their second choice is then gets pushed to the left like this, and then it recalculates, and then hopefully, we'll continue this process until all the delegates have been accounted for. So that's kind of a brief run through on how that's going to work. And it should calculate it in real time. Once again, these are unofficial results. So once this is all said and done, we do need to go through to the coordinating committee, which is all the local groups and the board of the state. They all meet together, and we'll need to approve these results. So what you're seeing is just the counting, the tallying, and it should be the results, but we'll come back and have to approve it still at the state level. So I think with that said, I think we can go ahead and start putting these votes in. Terry, if you want to start that off. Oh, that didn't come through the stream. Yeah. Before you continue, Terry, I'm going to check Facebook out. People are saying there's something looping, something strange going on. Oh yeah, that sounds really bad. Um, what is going on? Okay, 1 second. Um, Let me just go to. I'm gonna mute that. Okay, Terry, we'll go ahead and see if it's any better now. Thanks. All right, it's still looping for some reason on Facebook. Hold on 1 second again. I'm sorry about this. Okay, everybody, sorry about that. I think maybe Terry was not coming through, and we had a loop on Facebook, but I think that's fixed now, so hopefully we can go ahead and continue with the rest of these. The last number we did was 707, and I think Terry's ready to continue.
Yes, the next ballot we're open is 710. And number 1 is a write-in for Donnie Harold Harris. Number 2 is Jesse. And number 3 is Howie. Next ballot is 717. Number 1 is Dario. Number 2 is Howie. Number 3 is Kent. And number 4 is Pseudonym. Our next ballot is number 853. Number 1 is Jesse. Number 2 is Dario. Number 3 is Howie. Number 4 is Dennis. Number 5 is Pseudonym. Number 6 is Kent. Number 7 is Chad. Number 8 is Susan. And number 9 is David. Our next ballot is number 939. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Chad. Number 3, Dennis. Number 4, Howie. And number 5, Jesse. Our next ballot is 1094. Number 1 is Dario. Number 2 is Howie. Number 3 is Dennis. Number 4 is David. And number 5 is Pseudonym. Our next ballot is 1320. Number 1 is Howie. Number 2 is Dario. Number 3 is Chad. And number 4 is Dennis. Our next ballot is 1322. Number 1 is Dario. Number 2 is Howie. Number 3 is David. Our next ballot is number 1372. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Howie. Number 3, Chad. Number 4, Pseudonym. And number 5, Susan. Our next ballot is number 1515. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Susan. Number 3, Pseudonym. Number 4, Dario. Number 5, David. Number 6, Dennis. Number 7, Kent. Number 8, Chad. And number 9, Jesse. Our next ballot is number 1663. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, David. Number 4, Pseudonym. Number 5, Susan. Number 6, Dennis. Number 7, Kent. Number 8, Chad. Number 9, Howie. Next is 1774. Number 1, Dario. Next up is 1783. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Howie. Number 3, David. And number 4, Jesse. Next up, 1825. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Howie. Number 3, David. Number 4, Jesse. Next up, 1853. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Howie. Next, 2190. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, David. Next is 2640. Number 1, Pseudonym. Number 2, Kent. Number 3, Howie. Next is 3015. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Howie. And number 4, Pseudonym. $3,115. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, David. Number 3, Dario. Number 4, Pseudonym. Number 5, Dennis. Number 6, Susan. Number 7, Kent. Number 8, Chad. And number 9, Jesse. Next is 3,710. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Bernie Sanders. Number 4, Jesse. And then this one will be set aside because they have number 5 on everybody else. The next number is 3,871. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Pseudonym. Number 4, Chad. Number 5, Jesse. Number 6, Dennis. Number 7, David. Number 8, Susan. Number 9, Kent. Next up, 3,915. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Howie. Number 4,183. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Howie. $4,500. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Dennis. Next is 4,656. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Susan. And number 3, Dennis. $5,438. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Howie. And number 3, David. $5,544. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Howie. Number 3, Susan. And number 4, Jesse. Next number is 5,548. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Howie. Number 3, Dennis. Next is 5,588. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Kent. Number 3, Dario. Number 4 is a write-in, Ron Reagan. Number 5, Jesse. Number 6, David. Number 7, Dennis. Number 8, Pseudonym. Number 9, Susan. And number 10, Chad. Next is 6,494. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, Howie. Next is 6,522. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, David. And number 3, Dario. Next is 6,524. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Jesse. Number 3, Dario. Number 4, David. Number 5, Susan. Number 6, pseudonym. Number 7, Kent. Number 8, Dennis. Number 9, Chad. Next is number 6,526. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, David. Next is 6,547. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Howie. Number 3, Chad. Number 4, Dario. Number 5, Dennis. Number 6, Kent. Number 7, pseudonym. Number 8, Susan. And number 9, David. Next is 6,561. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Jesse. Number 4, David. Number 5, pseudonym. Number 6, Chad. Number 7, Dennis. Number 8, Susan. And number 9, Kent. Next is number 6,565. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Howie. Next is number 6,575. Number 1, Howie. Next is 6,587. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Jesse. Number 3, Dario. Number 4, David. Number 5, Kent. Number 6, Dennis. Number 7, Pseudonym. Number 8, Chad. And number 9, Susan. Next is 6,592. Number 1, Dario. Number 2, David. Sorry, that's not right. Number 1 is Howie. Number 2 is David. And number 3 is Dario. Next is 6,597. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Chad. Number 3, Dario. Number 4, Pseudonym. Ballot 6,598. One initiated my actual vote. Number 1 is Jesse. She initialed, or he initialed next to them. Number 2 is Pseudonym. Number 3 is Howie. Number 4 is Dario. Number 5 is Dennis. Number 6 is Chad. Number 7 is David. Next is 6,600. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, David. Number 3, Dario. Actually, I think I have to set this one aside because I just noticed that there are 2 number 1s. There's a number 1 on Jesse and on Howie. So this ballot will be set aside, and at the end of opening all these ballots, Adam will talk about what we're going to do with the set aside ballots.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just an invalid ballot, unfortunately. We can't just pick one, you know?
Right.
Yeah, hold on, let me delete these. That's too bad.
Yeah. The next ballot number is 6,607. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Jesse. Number 3, Dario. Number 4, David. $6,612. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Howie. $6,613. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Chad. And number 3, Dario. $6,614. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Howie. Number 3, Dario. And number 4, David. $6,617. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Jesse. Number 3, Pseudonym. Number 4, Kent. Number 5, Susan. Number 6, Dennis. Number 7, David. Number 8, Dario. And number 9, Chad. $6,624. Number 1, Jesse. $6,627. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Howie. Number 3, Dario. We're getting to the bottom of the stack here. The next number is 6,628. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, David. Number 4, Susan. Number 5, Pseudonym. Number 6, Dennis. Number 7, Chad. Number 8, Kent. And number 9, Jesse. Next up, 6,625.
Oh, we're going up.
Sorry, I
It's fine.
must have got that one out of order. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Howie. Number 4, Susan. Number 5, Pseudonym. Number 6, David. Number 7, Dennis. Number 8, Kent. Number 9, Chad. Next is 6,630.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the formulas here. Some of these. Somebody said Howie's number wasn't going up. Looks okay. We'll see.
Number 1, Jesse.
I'm sorry, which number was this? I got distracted.
6,630.
Okay, Jesse.
Number 2, Dario. Number 3, Howie. Next number is 6,633. Number 1, Howie. Number 2, Dario. Number 3, David.
Yeah, something with these counts isn't going up. Oh, I see exactly why. This should be through 25. Yeah, the last still 11 or so haven't. Yeah, let me fix this real fast. The ranges need updated. Yeah, the last 11 or so weren't automatically updating here. Okay. Wait a minute, I missed one. There we go. Okay, that should be better. Sorry about that. What number we got?
6,000. 6,635. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Howie. And this is the last ballot, number 6,636. Number 1, Jesse. Number 2, Howie. And number 3, Dario.
All right. So now looks like we only have half of the delegate left that is not yet committed. As it is currently, it looks like Howie has 1.5 delegates, Dario has 1 delegate, and Jesse has 1 delegate. So what we'll do now, we have half left that's not committed, and what we'll do now is go through and filter out the last place people. So all of these people currently do not have votes. So we're going to go ahead, looks like David rolled on. I'm just going to put a strike through their name. Let me first make a copy of this data for ourselves before I go through this. This is like pre-elimination. Oops, did I do it? Let me try that one more time. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to cross off all of the names that have 0 first choice votes and are eliminated now, and that's, we got David Rold, Dennis, Susan, Kent, and Chad, and then we don't have anybody to eliminate there because they didn't have any first choice votes. So we've got 1 write-in. So let me go ahead, and what I'm doing here, I'm going to just filter so that only that write-in vote is displayed. And then what we're going to do is just copy and shift everything over to the left one. So this is eliminated, and then you can see the second choice will be moved to the first choice, and all the numbers should automatically update. So there we go. And let me get rid of the filter. So we will select all. And so now the write-in first choice is gone, so we can cross that out. We still have half a delegate left. I think that just gave, yeah, here you go, there's a write-in. It just gave Jesse 1 more. So the next place is pseudonym. So we'll go ahead here and have only her votes showing up. And we'll go ahead and copy, we'll do the same thing and copy these and have them shift over 1. And we have some eliminated people here, so we'll go ahead and take out, let's clear this. 1 second here. So Kent is eliminated. So here's Kent. We'll move them over one more, and looks like that one's going to go to Howie. Whoops, wrong thing. And so we got Jesse, Dario, and Howie. The math is working out to where there's only half of a delegate remaining. There is a chance where the math doesn't work out perfectly, and one example would be, so say that 3 people have exactly the same vote tally. I know that's not the case right now, but if they did and we have 4 delegates, that there's a perfect threshold where nobody has an edge over anybody else, and there's uncommitted delegates remaining. And when that happens, then that's going to have to go to the CC ultimately to decide where this remaining half delegate goes. But I'm just going to look over the data here one more time and see why that is the case, and make sure that there's not some problem with the spreadsheet data here. So Howie has 27 the delegates, so if he got one more vote, it looks like he would get the half delegate. Dario is sitting at 16, he's in the middle of these two, and Jesse is at 19, so he's also, well, he's 2 away from getting 1.5. So that's a little bit confusing to me why that's not working out. We're going to have to go back and look at this math a little bit. But there, it looks like we have the unofficial results. And it's got, right now we've got Howie with 1.5 delegates, Dario with 1, and Jesse with 1. And seeing as how Howie is the closest to the next threshold here, that would be just my very personal rough assumption. There's nothing official there that half is going to go to him. But we will, see. We'll have to take that to the board and see what the board agrees on. Do you have any other comments here, Terry?
I don't know.
Does anybody have anything in the chat? Let's see what we got.
People are wondering about the ballots that are put aside. They don't understand.
They've been invalidated.
Well, this is one that was put aside that had where they chose number 1 2 times, and it wouldn't be fair for us to pick which number 1.
No.
They couldn't pick themselves, so we can't pick for them.
No, it's an invalid ballot, unfortunately. I want to count every vote personally, but that's not something that any of us can make a decision on.
Right. And the other one that I put aside, which we could probably count the numbers up to 4, like 1 2 3 4, and not pick a 5 for the person. I don't know if you picked that up in your
yeah. That one we counted. It had Howie as a first. There were no eliminations there, and then having everybody as 5 is the same thing as having everybody there empty. So that's not. Yeah. I personally don't see that as a problem at all. Just the one with 2 number 1s is an issue, and that's something that even here that's not going to help us. So we're going to have to take this to the board, review these numbers, and it's looking like, what we see already, nobody's going to lose those delegates as it is right now. So we've got Jesse with 1, Dario with 1, Howie with 1.5. I will say, so the delegate that's going to Jesse, he is an undeclared candidate, and there is a stipulation that the Indiana Green Party has agreed upon, that any candidates that are not actually placed in nomination at the convention those delegates will get rolled to candidates that are in nomination. So that are placed in nomination and are ready to accept the nomination at the convention. Um, so my understanding is that unless Jesse shows up, that those delegates will not be cast for him in the first round. And with that said, we probably are going to have to go through this data one more time and be prepared for a situation where Jesse does not show up, is not declared, and then we will go through, and anybody that has him as the first choice, we will recalculate those to see how the delegates will play out without him in there. And that's one of the great things about ranked choice voting is we can do that. And I don't know if you think that's something that we should go through now and see what like the second result set would be. What do you think?
I think if it's easy for you to do and we have the time, I think we should just check it out so
Okay, I'm
people
gonna
know.
yeah, I'll go ahead and make a copy of this one. So we'll just call this first pass, and we'll just share that. Again, everybody on the live stream, this is unofficial. This is totally unofficial. Everything needs to go through the board and to vote on. So yeah, please don't go, running and saying that this is what happened. I mean, it's a pretty good chance that this is how it's going to be, but it's not official until it's official. So there's the copy. All right, so we'll go ahead and pull Jesse out here. So here's everybody that had him with the first choice, which is right, and I need to move that over as well. And we're just going to shift these over one. And then, yeah, so there, I already can see that the numbers have been updated, even though pseudonym's in here. Let me take her out real quick. And that's going to get shifted over to Howie and clear. This one for Chad now. And those two are both going to Dario. Okay, so it looks like without Jesse, we've got 2.5 delegates to Dario, or to Howie, and 1.5 to Dario. So there's the two different result sets that we have, and that just depends again on if Jesse's going to show up ready to take the nomination. So we will see. And once again, this all needs to go through the board still, so this is really unofficial. I can't stress that enough. I don't know if you have anything else, but I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Sorry for the technical difficulties at the start. That seemed really annoying on Facebook. YouTube seems to be going pretty well. I don't know if anybody else in the YouTube comments has anything to add. Have you seen anything?
I'm watching YouTube. There's no questions. If there were questions, I'd bring them up. They like how transparent it is. They like seeing their vote being counted. And there was a question, but you answered it. So, but I would just like to reiterate, when our delegates go to the nomination convention, they're actually going to vote the way the members want them to vote, and not for some other candidate.
Yeah, everything that we do is going to be based off of this data. And we will probably go through one more time and make sure we counted these all correctly. But yeah, the delegates have to vote in line with what the Indiana Green Party members voted. And yeah, this is as transparent as it gets. So I think it's really exciting. I think it was really kind of cool what we did. I wish that I could watch my vote in the regular elections be counted in real time, personally. But I'd like to again thank everyone. I think that's about all we've got.
Yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. And if you have any questions, you can contact us online. We're on all the social media platforms, well, Twitter and Facebook, the primary ones. And you can send us an email at contact@greenpartyin.com, and someone will get back to you. It was really great opening up these ballots and watching these votes being counted in ranked choice voting. Hope everyone has a good night.
Yes, thanks again, everyone.